Welcome to episode 2 of Life of an Author. And just a disclaimer, this channel is not going to be your typical how-to channel for authors. I want this channel to be both for authors and readers alike. Definitely more on the reader side for main reasons. I want to see readers. I want to have readers. I believe my book is a pretty good story that people will enjoy, and I would love to see speculations and having interactions with them and so on and so forth. This is something I would definitely love to see grow. But nonetheless, I kind of just want to go through my day to day when it comes to what I learn and what I do in terms of learning as an author, especially as a self-published author, day by day. Currently, and I never really gone through this in the first episode of this whole entire series, I guess, and that's why these are kind of vlogs anyway, no scripts or anything, so I blabble on. But like, one thing I never said in the first episode was that, for one, I started, of course, with a book, and then I went ahead and printed it out, and I made myself an EIN number because I was able to gain friends quickly as I got closer to publishing this book, to helping me out. And now I'm over here saying, but I wouldn't mind having all my books under one banner, and I want to make a business to hold everything under, like, I guess, one publishing house. And I already have the name and all that other stuff, and I really want to, sell it off as it is. So with that being said, today is one of those days where I kind of want to focus on that aspect of being a writer. And I don't know if it's like everybody has to do this. It's just more so in my particular case, I kind of want to do this. And for anybody that's new, my name is Akil Smith. I am an independent self-published author. My book that I currently have out are these beautiful books called Alum Beginnings. It is my first debut novel. It took me more than 20 years to write, but truthfully 10 years to get it published. Not through traditional means, just really finish up the final draft and a lot of determination. I wouldn't mind taking an episode or just a video explaining why this book took me so long, and I don't mind going through it. I think that would be a great episode to just write out a script, drop down my ideas, and tell you why I will never take 10 years to write a book again. In fact, I think that's a great title for a video, to explain why I will never take 10 years to write a book again and explain the process of making this book and what I've learned, because I think that could be very helpful for new authors as well. The other thing is, I think I want to state this, and I didn't say this in the first episode, I'm not a big fan of authortube videos where they state to other people who want to be authors and grow their following, and maybe even have a YouTube channel just to grow their following, grow people to, I guess, sell books. But I think it's wrong for other author tubers to tell new authors, make a how-to channel. That's why I'm saying this is not going to be your typical how-to channel, because I can't really teach how-tos. I don't think any new authors should teach how-tos, because we're learning as we go. And it doesn't really necessarily mean what we learn will work for everybody, but I think that's almost self-explanatory. But we live in a world where people are a little bit gullible, and what you state on the internet and say it works, people will believe it will work for them. So that's why I want to be a very big disclaimer here and say, this is not your typical how-to channel. I want to explain and show what I've done to get to my process and how I've done it, especially with just little moments where I just kind of say, hey, today's a writing day, or like today, I'm preparing to make business cards, bookmarks, and maybe even like a tablecloth for my book. And this mainly because I'm going to be doing a couple book events to sell these books. So I guess the next thing I want to say is, or the next thing to ask is, what the heck is this? Alum Beginnings, as I already said, is my debut novel. It is a young adult science fiction novel focusing on two alien refugees called Taisho and Sean. Taisho is a Zorian and Sean is a Hunadin. But there's a war going on between the Zorians, which is what Taisho is, and the Riggins, which are what these eyes are. And Taisho's been sought after throughout his whole entire life because he has a great ability, a great power within him called the alum. And so his life has not been easy living on Earth because while it was supposed to be a safe haven, people found out, the Riggins found out. But now Taisho is now in his senior year. Things seem to be smooth sailing. He hasn't been attacked for a very long time. But that all comes to an end when Taisho has a premonition about his best friend Sean being killed. I hope I can say that word. So he sees his best friend being killed or unalived or perished, and he sees it from the hands of a loved one. Taisho acts upon his own emotions, his anger, and very much his anxiety, making sure that he can protect all his friends, only to make the biggest mistake of all. It causes a rift between Taisho and Sean, and now Sean is on the wrong side of the war and also has gone down a darker path. Taisho notices that he made a really bad mistake, wants to fix it, and that's what this whole point of the story is about, without giving away. Last episode, I took my time to write Alum 2. I am currently writing the sequel to this book, and I am looking forward to at least releasing it by next year. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely way behind, because originally by this time this year, I wanted to be working on my next book. Not the next book in this series particularly, but another book that I have in mind, and I still plan on writing that book soon. So the quicker I get this next book done, the quicker I can get to my next project while also working on this project. Essentially, I ain't gonna lie, I overwork myself. So with that being said, today's whole thing is this. I have a couple events coming up, and I guess it's the perfect time to announce them. If you're interested in my books, I have them currently on Amazon. I also have a link in the description and a link in the comments, I believe, to my books, my book, and where you can buy them. You can find them on barnesandnoble.com. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on a couple local bookstore websites, I'm hoping. So just type in ALAM beginnings and you will probably find it, to be honest with you, thanks to Ingram Spark. So it's out there. But of course, I would always say this to anybody. If you really want to see it in your bookstore in your neighborhood, request it. The same thing with Barnes & Noble, request it. The more you request it, the better chances I have to get these books in your bookstores in your city. And I would love to see that, because I ain't gonna lie, I believe I see this as a film in the future. Very, very near future. So what is today's whole agenda? Unlike yesterday, where I just wrote chapter 14 and it spent a couple hours just finishing up, I guess, 2 or 3 pages. Today, I'm going to be working on bookmarks, business cards, and a little bit of a logo and design for, well, kind of a logo and design, but more so a tablecloth to sell myself. But I also want to make a banner too, because at the moment, I only have a poster and a couple of, I don't know what I want to call it, like basically the price of these 2 books on a paper, as well as a link to my ebook and my socials as well, which I'll probably have my socials as well on the link in the description, as well probably somewhere on this video. So with that being said, today, it's already like 2:12 and today's August 18th. It's a Sunday. I don't really have a lot of time, and originally I wanted to take out my dog to, hang out with me for today. It's been a while since I've had him outside, but considering that this is going to be a pretty hefty and stacked day, I don't really want to have him outside too long, especially with the fact that he's not really used to people. I got to focus more so on my stuff than I can on him, and I promised to myself, like, I'm going to take that dog out on a day where I guess maybe I'm just drawing for the day, and I don't mind just taking a little sketch and getting better, especially using my wonderful tablet. But nonetheless, today's still a weekend, and I usually write on weekends, and for me, I would basically state right here, right now, if I have enough time, I do all the stuff in record time, let's say, like, I guess within an hour or 2, I'll write a little bit of chapter 15, and then if I can even finish chapter 15, that's a big win on my end, and I can keep going. But I'm probably gonna have to stop up at Best Buy too to get myself a new USB-C to USB-C cord that's not just meant for charging, but for media output. It's a little annoying, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Let's get going. Wow, that ran late. It's the next day, and all I can say is this: I did a lot for a couple hours. I drove around for a bit, literally looking for a coffee shop. I was deciding whether if I wanted to drive out to Tampa, which is about an hour away from me, or to Orlando, which is about an hour away from me as well. I'm choosing Orlando for whatever crazy reason. I think it's just because I was craving a little bit of fast food for that day. But nonetheless, I was able to get some bookmarks done, my business cards done, which I felt a little weird about, but it looks nice, and also a banner done late last night until 2 a.m. in the morning. I still have 2 promotional posters that I have to create for the 2 book fairs I'm going to be participating in. One is free and then one is in Kentucky. But overall, I want to get those prepared so at least I can start marketing it. And to me, I think that's a whole nother video just talking about the uphill climb of marketing as a new author. And I think it'd be really cool if other authors that are in the same place as me goes through, I guess, their I don't know how to explain it, but goes through their experience of learning how to market with a little bit of time. Because I work a 9-to-5 job, and my daily job as an engineer. So for me, doing marketing is like completely left field for me compared to where I am. And to be honest with you, it is a big uphill climb. And I mean, the best I can do for marketing is putting it in bookstores and talking about it on TikTok, and finally talking about it on YouTube. Perhaps maybe one day I'll take the book and read a couple chapters or pages. No, a couple chapters I think makes sense to get at least somebody interested, and see if I can say, hey, continue, but also say, hey, just buy the book. If you like what you're hearing, go ahead and get yourself a copy. I'll sign it anyway. So that's it for day 2, even though now, the next day later. But today I'm not really going to do much. I'm going to head to Disney and enjoy my day. Next weekend is a whole another weekend. I'm hoping next weekend I can get some stuff done. I'll probably work into some gig apps so I can make back some of the money I actually spent over this past weekend for all the stuff I need to do. The last thing I need to do is actually look for a company that does table size banners, something that can go about this tall, this high, rather than the ones that go from the floor. I mean, those ones are great and cool, but I only have so much space that I don't really want to, have one that goes from the floor, because for all I know, these next 2 places I'm going to be doing my stuff, I'm not going to have enough space to show off my, I guess I want to say, like, my stuff, my swag, quote unquote. Well, I'm not getting out any swag or anything, but I'm thinking of stuff as time progresses. One of the things I'm trying to do before this month's end and next month begins is get some artwork done. That's going to cost me about $400 something or $400 to get it done. And I got to prepare a document for one of the artists I'm going to be working with so he can create something pretty spectacular. And that can definitely help out with my next book signing. So anyways, with that being said, I'm Akil Smith. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the last video as well. For anybody that's wondering, well, I'll be here.